What is up, guys? I am Jesse, this is my wife Melissa, and together we are Adventure Endeavor. We have been traveling the country for almost 2 years now.
In our fifth wheel.
It's fifth wheel with our Ram. And today we want to talk about driving tips and kind of like your pre-inspection. The pre-inspection is going to be on the quicker side because that's going to be a whole nother video, but this is going to be a lot of driving tips and things to look out for. Alright, so first thing you're going to want to do is obviously hitch up your trailer. Then you want to inspect your tires, look for anything that looks out of the ordinary, check your PSIs, and also we always do a quick look at the axles, make sure the axles are not leaking or anything like that, you don't have any grease coming out anywhere. Then you want to make sure obviously that all your levelers are up all the way, check for windows, you know, being open, roof vents, everything like that. And hopefully you secured everything on the inside as well. Obviously, make sure your ladder is up and secured, and then we're pretty much ready to go hop in the trailer and get going from there. All right, so now Melissa's getting in the truck and she's getting ready to drive. She's gonna be driving today. I just wanna state that there's one thing that's pretty important is if you look, our truck and trailer is in a straight line. And that's really important for when you adjust your mirrors. So we're gonna go ahead and adjust mirrors, adjust seat, that's our next step.
The first step when you get in the car is just like driving any regular car. You want to adjust your seat accordingly, your comfortable position, adjust your mirrors, make sure that you have adequate view in all your mirrors. And we have tow mirrors, so we're gonna go ahead and fold those up. There we go.
And then this step is really important because you want to have the truck in a straight line behind, because that's most of the time you're going to be driving fairly straight, and so that's where you're going to want to adjust your mirrors.
Exactly.
All right, so the mirrors are adjusted, and then when you're towing, you want to go ahead and put the truck into tow haul mode and turn on the exhaust brake.
Tow haul's on, exhaust brake on. Right, orange is the one I want, right?
Yep, so everything's on. Now we're ready to roll.
It's really important to know anytime you're towing anything, what is your height, your length, and your width, because there could be bridges or other obstructions, and it's important to know the exact length and width that you are. In addition to being aware of bridge height, you're going to want to be looking out for other obstructions like trees or anything else that might be unmarked, but just kind of keep that in mind and always be looking out for it as you're driving down the road.
One of the most important things when driving a rig this large is your tail swing, which is basically when you're making a turn left or right, the tail is extended past the wheelbase. So that's gonna swing wider than your actual turn. So you need to be aware of that. That's extremely crucial. Secondly, you need to just take every turn quite a bit wider, because on your inside shoulder, depending on whatever way you're turning, left or right, you don't want to take out your wheels or poles or street lights or anything like that. So make sure your turns are a lot wider than you would take in a normal car or pickup truck. Our hope is that this shows you tail swing. You can see the tail is going over the line right there. So that's what you really need to be aware of. Normally, you don't need to watch out for tail swing that badly, but it's something to keep in mind, and it all depends on how your tires are oriented to the length of your trailer. Sometimes your tires are closer to the rear bumper of the trailer, and sometimes they're more towards the middle. If your tires are more towards the middle of the trailer and you have a long overhang on the back, you're more likely to get a severe tail swing. Tail swings can happen with 20-foot trailers or 40-foot trailers. It just all depends on the way the trailer is set up, and it's something to be very, very aware of. Zamboni, you have to stay in the back. All passengers must be seat belted at all times. Something that is often overlooked is being aware of the weather. It doesn't seem like something that would be that concerning, but you know, you can get 50-mile-per-hour winds and you're basically a giant wind sail. You can get rains, you can get hail. There's all sorts of stuff that can go wrong, and it's just gonna make life a lot harder, more stressful, and you're more likely to get into an accident. So go ahead and check the weather before you drive anywhere. We are Looking at sunny and 75 degrees today. We are good to go.
Okay, so we're pulling into a dump station right now, and Jesse just advised me that it's really important. I'm basically going to be making a U-turn once I get in there. So I want to be going as wide as possible and put the front passenger fender as close to the far right-hand side of the entrance as I can. So I'm basically aiming for that enter here sign, which you probably can't see because the lighting's really harsh, but you get the idea.
So we're making a left into this lot. Because we have to make a slight U-turn, she's coming way over here, nice and wide. Then she's gonna straighten out, and obviously she's checking her mirrors as she's pulling in here. She's doing great. Because now we're gonna go over to the dump station, which is over here. And the reason she came in wide was to make this approach a lot easier. And now, as she's coming in as well, she's gonna keep this passenger fender over here closer to this fence. And the reason she's gonna keep it closer to the fence is because she doesn't want the back of the trailer to hit. Perfect, we nailed it.
All right. It's always important never to drive when you're tired, so I'm gonna hand this key over. Here you go.
Guess I'm driving.
So if you are new to towing or driving an RV, you might be wondering what is a safe following distance to leave between you and the vehicle in front of you. In a normal passenger car, the average is about 2 to 3 seconds of following distance. But with an RV, you're going to be a lot longer, a lot heavier, so you're going to require more distance to apply the brakes and actually come to a full stop. So a great rule of thumb is allow 1 second for every 10 feet. So for example, we are 55 feet long with this truck and trailer, so I just round up to 60, and then we do a 6-second following distance.
And a great way to judge that 6 seconds is watch a vehicle in front of you, and when they pass like a bridge or a sign or something that is easy distinguished, then go ahead and start counting and just count 1, 2, 3, and obviously shoot for that 6 seconds. And if by the time you hit that sign or whatever object, that will give you the distance, and you'll know if you're too close or too far. And this is extremely important because people don't realize how heavy RVs and trailers and everything are, and you gotta realize this truck is designed, yes, to tow them, but you just need to be very careful, be aware of that. So another key piece of equipment that you're gonna want on your truck and or RV is a trailer brake controller. A lot of the newer trucks come with them factory, so that should be pretty easy. You don't have to do anything. Ours did not, but we got a 𝗙𝗘𝗟𝗡. I'll put that right here. And it's literally plug and play, at least with our 2016 Ram 2500. There's a plug under the dash, you plug it in, you mount it with 2 screws, and then you can set it up based on the weight of your trailer and how much trailer brakes you want to have applied. And that's great, so you can set it up for different trailers, and it keeps it very simple. And then as well, there is a lever underneath where you can apply the brakes manually with your hand while driving if you feel the need. Lots of times if you're in icy conditions, if the trailer starts to slide, you go ahead and you pull that lever, and it almost instantly helps kind of stop the trailer from sliding and correct it in a certain sense. But yeah, that's it on that, and we will link that below if you want to check one of those out.
Another driving tip that starts long before you get in the car is planning your route carefully. So you want to know if you are going to come up to any, low bridges or any sharp turns or steep grades. Always be looking for the route that is going to be the most flat and the easiest for towing a gigantic fifth wheel or whatever other type of rig you might have. So knowing your route ahead of time will definitely make your experience driving a lot better. Always try to stick to major roads and interstates if possible, and try to know ahead of time what type of obstacles you might run into if you are taking side roads or little country roads away from the interstate. Right along with planning your route ahead of time, make sure that you allow yourself plenty of extra time so you can take it slow, you don't feel rushed, everything always takes longer when you're in a big vehicle, and if you have to stop to dump your tanks or fill your water, or any of those sorts of things that come along with RVing, it's good to allow plenty of extra time. You know, we usually allow at least an hour, and we try to focus on the amount of miles that we have to go versus what our GPS tells us the time is that we're going to get there, because the time always ends up being longer than you thought it was going to be. So just be sure to slow down, don't rush. You'll get there eventually, and you will get there safely if you take your time.
And our last and final tip is practice, practice, practice. The more you do it, the easier it will get. Melissa has been practicing a lot more lately, and we start off easy. We just do straight highway, and then we kind of get her into the city a little bit, and then eventually we get her backing into more technical spots. So it's a process, and the more you do it, the easier it gets.
It's just like driving a regular car, really. Practice turning and just kind of get a feel
Backing up,
exactly.
that's huge.
Yes, backing up, turning, all of those things, and ease into it and work your way up to you know, more intense areas. Like right now, we're driving on a big flat, straight,
Freeway.
wide open highway.
It's really easy.
Great way to learn. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. We'll do our best to answer it.